All right, guys. Hi, how are you today? I am really excited to be here. I am looking at some stuff online. I'm Ashley M. Jenkins. So thank you for allowing me, Christina, to host the live today. I am super excited to be with you. I'm meta watching myself in the background so I can get as many comments as possible, and I've put a link in the bio because I know that this is something that a lot of people have struggled with overall in general, is what's going on with Instagram, right? Why is it when you put your things on Instagram that you are not getting the same turnaround that you used to get? And this is not your typical Instagram live stream. So I'm not going to be telling you how to create content. I'm not going to be talking to you about hashtag strategies. And I'm not going to even be talking to you about who you should follow, who you shouldn't follow. Those are all things that will be addressed in the webinar, and it's a free link. It's a class that I will be teaching next week on Tuesday to anybody who's interested. So I want to give you a little bit of background about myself. I am a coach and consultant, and I work with primarily women entrepreneurs, but I was actually spearheaded by several male-headed companies across the board in so many industries to come in as an interim acting chief organizing officer. And so what that means is I will work with a startup company and I will help them scale, and I will help them create more revenue, i.e. more money in their business, so that they can hire staff and take their company to another level. How am I credible to do these things? Well, I'm glad that you didn't ask, but you have asked. I started off in my early 20s, and I come from an entrepreneurial family. And that led me to go to school in pursuit of becoming a pharmacist, okay? So I was in pre-pharmacy for about 4 years, and then I realized that I did not want to hawk pills across the counter to someone who wanted an easy button, but I in fact wanted to help people shift their lifestyle and become healthier. So that led me to actually become a yoga teacher and an exercise physiologist, and I had a background in nutrition. I owned a yoga studio for about 4.5 years, led a corporate wellness program where I taught over 1,000 people at the University of Missouri, Columbia, Missouri. And I did all the things, right? And then, like most women, we go through a life transition, which sadly for me was a separation from a 12-year relationship. Went a little cray, but I shut the doors down to my business. But I decided I didn't like being married to my business, right? And I'm sure a lot of you don't like being married to a business. So I ended up jumping out of that and jumping into consulting and coaching. And I started off with life coaching because it made sense from coming from a mindfulness background and having all of that experience from teaching yoga to numerous people. So I remember one of my very first clients, he told me, "You will never be successful at teaching yoga." And I was like, yeah, well, success is definitely perception. And for him, the big takeaway is what anybody else tells you is about them. It's not about yourself. And so I jumped in, I made it rain, not a problem, right? That was that industry. And then as I pivoted into coaching and consulting, a lot of my first clients were people who wanted to have fitness-based businesses themselves. And they were not succeeding at all. They were not good at the business. They wanted to help people, and they were very passionate about wellness, right? Even holistic wellness, but they didn't get the business stuff. And I have come in like a little mini hurricane with so many clients. I've helped them put systems and structures in place, and it's not sexy, okay? It's not sexy at all. However, it is necessary, especially if you want to run around in a bathing suit all day long while the things you put into work for you, okay? So as I grew my online business, I used Facebook, and at the time, it was like gangbusters. You could put something out there and you would get hundreds of followers. You could launch an ad campaign and people would take the bait and they would buy and do whatever it is that you wanted them to do. It was super simple. And then laws and regulations and all these things occurred, and it stopped being easy. Okay, now in 2015, one of my guy friends who also worked in my company turned to me and he goes, "Are you on Instagram?" And I said, "No, I'm not on Instagram," right? I was resistant in 2004 to even joining Facebook when it hit our university, and my gay guy friends were like, "You have to do this," right? I had a staff member when I had my yoga studio who deleted my Facebook page, and I was like, "I'm not getting back on it." it took me a blizzard, right? Which is essentially what's happening to our country right now, right? For me to get a Facebook page and get back on there. So 2015, I joined Life. I got an Instagram page and I kept it very private. And then in 2018, I put my personal coaching and consulting stuff on Instagram. You can find me. I'm a real person, ASHMJENX official. Okay, so Ash M. Jinx official. And earlier in February, this is before coronavirus got all kinds of corona crazy in our country, I gathered up a few of my clients and a few of my peers and I said, guys, I feel like something's happening, right? For one, I am launching a company that is an anti-aging line at the end of this summer, right? Because of all the corona things that are going on, it's a little too insane to get ingredients shipped from other places and into the country where we can make something safe and amazing that reverses aging in a vast and epic way, right? But before we can get to that, we needed to have an influencer network. And so I did peoplemap.co. I did all of these things. And I was like, why am I putting posts out here and getting 16 to 30 likes, right? This is the meat and potatoes of the live stream. Why am I doing this? My content is good, right? I'm not terribly looking, right? I like myself. I love myself. I have a voice. I know how to use it. What is going on, right? Is it my hashtag game? So I looked into that, okay? It wasn't my hashtag game. I have a statistics background, okay? And my statistic background is on point. When I was in college, I thought I was going to get called in for cheating and academic dishonesty because every statistics exam I had, I got 100%. So I understand something that's happening in the algorithm, and I understood it in February before coronavirus took hold of our country, okay? So follow. I turned to my clients, I turned to these people that I work with, and I said, I think if we each put content out every single day, and we team up together, and we agree to go like each other's stuff within a certain time frame, I think it's going to make an impact for us, right? Just follow. And at that time, nothing was happening, right? And it was like pulling teeth because sometimes in leadership, until people see it, it's very challenging to believe it. And I'm not joking. You can go check out my page and see what I have done. So at the time I had 229 followers, and every single day I would get people who followed me and unfollowed me and followed me and unfollowed me. And it was bleeping annoying, okay? Nobody likes that. Nobody likes a follower. Nobody likes an unfollower. And a lot of people then would hit me in my DMs. And these are coaches and consultants. And they're like, I can help you make $10,000 a month. And I'm like, I don't need that. I don't need that because I already have plenty of clients on deck and plenty of things I'm working on. We're not even going to get into it on this live stream. Okay. I could help them make $10,000 a month. All right. And I know a lot of y'all feel me on that one. What though I was doing was showing something in terms of leadership, okay? So I had all of my clients, all of my peers, we got together in Confluence Society and we started liking one another's stuff and it was an agreement, okay? So if you guys were in a sorority, a fraternity, well, nobody's in a fraternity because we're all women in this group, but sororities and fraternities make an agreement that you adhere to a certain kind of code of ethics and you're going to protect those people who are in the fraternal organization with you by doing certain things within a code of conduct. So that's much what we decided to do with Confluence Society, and it's much what people decide to do when they join an engagement pod, when they join anything. But the thing is, it is work. It is not an instant overnight process, okay? And this is not first grade where if you just show up, right, and you can put anything out there that people will like it. Now, what a lot of people didn't know when I started to find them and make relationships with them on the internet was that I am hunting for my beauty brand for my 500 influencers that I will pay bank to. When I say I will pay them bank, I need to see it first. I need to see that I can trust them with my baby, right? And it's no different than when I had a yoga studio and I inducted teachers into my teacher training, which grossed 3 times more than any other teacher training in the state of Missouri. And the state of Missouri decided to do some legislative things And everybody that I loved and knew took their trainings out of the state, including yours truly. And we were all like, we're not going to play at that level because it got ridiculous. Anyhow, back to the Instagram stuff. If you want to keep it simple, it's very simple. What you give is what you receive, okay? And I know a lot of y'all are like, but I'm already liking famous people's stuff and nobody be liking my stuff back. Well, right, narcissism on the internet is a very real thing where someone throws their stuff up there and they think everybody's going to see my things and like my things. That's not the way it works, okay? And some of y'all are very empathetic and you care. You give all of your F's, right? I know validation is a real thing. And I know that when you feel validated, there are amazing things that can show up for you in terms of not only more engagement, but also what you are looking to have happen on Instagram. But it's very strategic, right? The content leads towards a certain kind of outcome. And the content that needs to happen, if you've not been consistent on Instagram, just to touch on that, is all about trust building, okay? It is not about what you get out of this situation. Every single post that you post out there is not about what is in it for you, right? You are engaging with an audience and it is about what is in it for them and what do they care about. And if you want to be really, really good at Instagram, you're going to study your jungle. You're going to study the people who engage with you, right? And you're going to learn their behaviors, you're going to learn their patterns, and you're going to like their stuff back. I know it seems very crazy for me to say this to you, but Ashley, I just want to put my stuff on the internet and I want people to just like me and buy my things. Well, I can't see all 70 of you that are here live, and I certainly won't see all the hundreds, if not thousands of you that come back to watch this. If you really, truly want to see people engage with your stuff and you want to see major New York Times authors become your followers, you want to see yourself be a thought influencer, you want to sell, I don't care if it's deodorant, I don't care if it's multi-level marketing, I don't care if it's a new essential oil blend, whatever it is that you want to sell, right? Whatever it is that you want to exchange, if you are not engaging with your audience and you are not loving their things, saving their posts, that's key, and additionally commenting, your comments are what really makes the vote for Instagram. So there's a thing called ER%, okay? And if you're coming to the webinar that I posted a link to, and there is an option for replay options if you want, there's a thing called ER%, okay? And when someone comes to me and they send me a DM, right, all those adorable coaches that took a cookie cutter box little class and they think they're gonna go sell people to make 6 figures online, because some of us women wanna make 7 or 8 figures, because honeys, we gotta make the bacon because our boys be buying toys. Yep, that's what we gotta do. But the ER%, right, we have an ER percentage, okay? And it's pretty simple. You calculate how many loves you have, right? And then comments are weighted a little bit more, and saves. So the save looks like a little shopping tag, okay? Y'all following that right there? Right, we got hearts, we got comments, and we got little tags right there, okay? Now, you do that against divisible of your followers, and people who are following and unfollowing you hurt your stuff. So if you are following and unfollowing people, we're going to get to that because I got very few minutes to tell you some very important things of what's hurting you in the algorithm and why you're not showing up and why the internet is going radio silent on you, okay? So this is our little math equation here. And I know math is not fun, right? There's no lipstick involved. But if you want to buy loads and loads of lipstick, you'll pay attention to this right here. There are applications that will calculate your engagement rate. I love planthat.com. If you sign up for the webinar, you get a free month basically if you upgrade with the link that's in the email that comes back to you. But anyhow, so this is the very simpleness right here. And I haven't looked at it in a while, right? But I know that I get about 300 likes a post within 24 hours. And I know that I have around 800 followers. And keep in mind, in February, that was 229. And I haven't lost these babies at all, right? And every single day, the dirty, dirty weirdos on the internet that find my page, right? You know who they are. They're selling cryptocurrency on the internet. I block those people, and we don't have time on this Instagram live to talk about this right now with you. But so we have 300 divided by 80. And I'm not super great with math right now, right? I'm not really great at that, but it's going to be a little bit between 30 to 40% depending on what that, oh yeah, the camera flips everything when you do lives. Okay, sorry guys. So put 300 divided by 800, and that's gonna give you the ER percent, okay? Now, Instagram, if it gets above 4 or 10% within 6 to 12 hours of your post, then what happens? The people who follow me and I engage with them, okay? They engage with me, I engage with them, right? I like their things, they like my things. It is a reciprocity that we have going on. And there are several of us that have hey girl hey, and we've had really, really, really solid real people chats. We've had collaborations. And a collaboration isn't they buy my stuff, I buy them stuff. It is, we have 3 seconds of attention, right? And for a lot of you, you're not staying on this live stream because you know it's going to be back here later and you can come back when you have more time in your day to watch the whole thing. That's totally fine. I get it. At the same time, if you don't have 4 to 10%, Instagram will not show your post to all of the people who follow you, okay? So they only are going to send it out to about 10% of your audience. And so for me, I have 800 people, so that's about 80 people that are only gonna see a post. And out of 80 people, I'm getting about 10 to 20 of them that see it and like it, okay? And so that is a massive deal, okay? That's a lot better than 10 or 14 that I was getting a while ago. Now, I have other people who we have stepped in as influencers, right? And we have made a sorority pact with one another that every single day when I see them come in and like, or they see me and come in and like, we go like each other's stuff. And it took a lot of time to build those genuine relationships. It does not happen overnight because a lot of people are like, girl, I'm special and you're not. And that is so not what we're here to do, ladies, okay? Every single one of y'all matter, right? But we only have enough attention and enough time, especially with running households, having babies, and doing all the things to continue to be super women with fab hair, okay? So if you've got 3 seconds, you gotta keep it nice, short, punchy, sweet, and elevator pitch. Who are you? Who do you serve? What do you help them overcome? And what is the result that you help them to get? Very simple, right? Because if I'm not your person, I don't have children yet, right? God willing, I might one day, someday, not today, okay? I don't have patience for little children 24/7. I don't have it, right? I was just stuck in an Airbnb during quarantine out in California with little people, and Lord help me, the 1-year-old was illiterate and set off the CO2 detector. So I don't have time for that. But I have a ton of mom influencers, and guess what? All my girlfriends are going crazy because they have babies, okay? Those people sell a product, represent a product, and then they communicate about it on the internet. And when I see something for autism, because my friends like to party like I did when I was in my 20s, their kids are on the spectrum. Guess what I'm sharing with them? That stuff, okay? That's what being an influencer is. When I say something to other people, I have earned influence. Therefore, it matters. And I'm what's called a nano, micro influencer, which means I have a few hundred people, captive attention. I have a few CEOs. When I say something down in Florida to people, they listen to me, right? And it only takes telling the right person one time. That's it. You don't have to tell a whole bunch of people, but if you want to be insta famous, you're going to start to make serious relationships with people and you're going to check your ego, right? Being hypercritical about yourself doesn't work. Being hypercritical about that one girl who wants to post all the weird stuff with all the weird emojis doesn't work, right? You like them all, and then when you like them all, you love them all, you save them all, you comment on them all, right? You see and you measure where the reciprocity is coming back. There are loads of spreadsheets. Again, we don't have time on this little 30-minute intro to talk about all of it with you. And I set a timer for myself, like 5 timers everywhere, so I don't go over, to respect everyone's time here with what I'm sharing with you. However, what I will tell you happened, right? So I had a group of people. I only had one person out of about 10 that got their act together and posted consistent content. That was it, right? Another one of my CEOs, he's still sorting it out. He's sorting it out. He's in the process. You know, he's Guy, right? Guys, it takes 2.5 times longer. That's a fact. He is sorting it out, and he knows because we talk about the specialness, and it's taken him a long time, right? I don't like to nag, even when I'm being paid to someone else. I don't like to nag. So for him, it's taken him time to realize that maybe he shouldn't use all 2,200 characters you have for a post to mansplain. Shouldn't do it, right? We've had this loving chat, very fierce all the time. He's still doing it, right? And I told him, I was like, vary up, short copy, long copy, see what works. Change up the hashtags. That's another one, okay? So Instagram does these wonderful things. They have automations that are in the background of the algorithm, and they're not going to tell you their strategy. It's kind of like that surprise drug test that sometimes happens, right? It's in the bylaws if you read very, very fine print, but for most of us, we didn't read it, okay? So this is what happens. If you follow 30 people and then unfollow 100, Instagram will shadow ban your account. You keep doing it, they will penalize that behavior. Tisk, tisk. Done. They don't have patience for that. You use the same hashtags every single post that you post. Instagram starts to see that behavior as spam. You don't research your hashtags. Did you know that Happy Thanksgiving during 2019 was actually shadow banned, and anybody who mistakenly over that week or that month used Happy Thanksgiving got their account shadow banned? No, you didn't. You just wondered why you didn't see other people's turkey trotting, right? So there are a few things that they do not like. Another thing they don't like is if you have hardly any people following you or engaging with you and you go out and you serial like over 100 things in an hour, they don't like that either. So there are things that you have to be mindful of in the stratosphere, right? And to say that it doesn't work, well, it's not working for you. It's working for lots of other people. How is that, right? Because they're using multiple forms of content to get in front of people. And one of the biggest things that people are doing is using their own beautiful God-given face. And if that's you, then you're going to show up and shine. And if you're not using your face, why, girl, why? Why are you not doing that, right? I mean, without filters and everything, yes, presets are awesome. I could have a preset on right now. I chose not to. I wanted to be as unfiltered as possible with practicing some censorship so I have no foul words. Yes. So I wanted to come and talk to y'all about this because I know that if more of you were engaging, okay, it would lead to the things that you want to have more of. Okay, and when I walk into a board meeting, right, and investors want to go scope me out, they look at my LinkedIn and they see I have hundreds of people connecting with me. They know that I represent. Then they go and check out my website. It needs a little bit of work, but I'm not paying for it today because there are lots of things in process, okay? Then they go look at my Facebook. Everybody knows Facebook, you got to pay to play, right? But they can go look at all the accounts that I manage and they know that I am an OG. Then they go look at Instagram. Oh, and what do they see? They see actual engagement and dialogue. They see leadership. They see representation, right? They don't see me constantly trying to sell other people because the results speak for themselves. Being well-spoken always speaks well for itself. Being composed, even if you're scampering around in a bathing suit, and I put that stuff on there too without a filter because you can, okay? The only things that you're not supposed to show, and again, we don't have time to go over that, are in the terms and conditions, and you can go search that on Instagram yourself. I don't have to use our precious time together to talk about that. So what I do want to tell you is that you have the capacity to reach out to 10 people, and you could take 90 days to every single week collect 10 to 20 people and make real relationships. And instead of focusing on trying to sell someone else on what you do, right? Trying to explain yourself, which you do not need to explain anything. If you have the right pathway set up and you have a conversation snippet by snippet, it does the selling for you, right? You just hit on that pain point and talk about it. And there's a little strategy that goes into the content. More than anything, 90 days, if you have not been consistent, you need to focus just on trust building, right? Trust building is not let's shag on the first date. Let's shag before coffee. Nobody wants that, right? When guys come up to you, and even if you're married and they're like, girl, I wanna, right? Just so you guys all have a good idea of what that looks like. It requires about an hour to an hour and a half of consistent daily engagement, okay? So if you want 1,000 people to engage with you, you're looking at about 4.5 hours a day on that application or more to organize all of that. And there are tons of tools and things like that that I will go over in the webinar that make your life a lot easier. But if you're not there, you don't get to access it. And so I'm making my time available for free for you, because my hope is by helping other people grow, y'all will help me find my influencers who want to put goo on their face and anti-age. So that's the real deal. That's what's in it for Ashley, okay? I want to help other people look beautiful for a very, very long time, because we all deserve to look beautiful and run around in a bathing suit, regardless of where you live, okay? That's kind of why I did what I did a long time ago, pivoting from owning a brick and mortar business to going online so that I could have freedom of my life, of my time, and work like a woman instead of work like a man, okay? But Instagram is just one of those tools that I'm using to slay in my business. And it is what is helping me to crush it, right? During COVID-19, all these people were like, I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know what to do on quarantine. I was scheduled more than I have been scheduled in a very long time. I was doing revenue recoveries left and right. I was identifying new businesses to talk to. I picked up 2 new CBD clients, and I had a young man who approached me, and it's an amazing collaboration. We'll see if it happens. He's 21, he's 22. He's a little wet behind the ears, right? I typically don't work with men. I work with women primarily. But I'm not saying no, because a lot of men have feminine energy, right? And some men need the masculine energy that we bring to the table as go-getters. So I hope you were able to follow this. I'm gonna zip it up. If you wanna connect with me on Instagram, here's the pro tip, okay? Go to @AshMJinxOfficial. When you follow me, then go and tell me that you saw me in Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs from Christina Rowe, okay? And Christina has tons of amazing strategy-oriented programs. She's got a $9.99 thing that helps you get your content on lock. So if you're struggling with that, that's where you're gonna start, okay? Because it starts with the content before it gets to engagement, but the only way it gets seen is when you decide that you will show up. All right, y'all, keep it sassy. I look forward to seeing you on that webinar if you're joining me.